Welcome to the Intentional Household Podcast. Today, Tatiana and I are discussing a powerful practice that can really help with intentional planning for next year. We are talking all about summer reflections and how you can make next summer better than the past. Tatiana, let's dig in. We are nearing the end of summer. You and I have put so much work into our summer planning, so have so many other families. And quite often, summer ends, we don't reflect on how that summer went. And essentially, we start from scratch next winter when we're starting our summer planning again.
If you're starting in the winter.
Yeah. Well, in Toronto,
Yes.
if we're doing any sort of summer camp planning, it begins second week in January.
Yes, it's competitive.
We hardly have any time to relax from the holidays, and we are thrown in to the summer planning almost immediately.
Yep.
I find it extremely stressful, and to have to get your stuff together so quickly is a lot of work.
Yes.
We're going to be going through this practice that I have been doing for a while to really save from all of the planning that you have to do and the mental energy that you need to spend on starting from scratch.
It's almost better to like we're going to get into do the reflection in the last weeks of summer like we are right now.
Yeah.
So that you're not doing it in January. It just feels like dislocated. And like you said, you're just coming off holidays. You're really not in the mindset. But like right now, you're still in the mindset. So it's a better time.
Exactly. So doing it now while it is fresh allows you to really, even you could do it at the end of the summer, or you could go week to week at the end of each, say if you do have kids in camp, the end of the week, like how did that camp go? If it's multiple weeks of camps in a row and you realize your kids are tired, that's a point when you can make a note somewhere.
We did that last year. We had like too many camps and we realized they wanted at least 1 week with nothing. I'm just like, I want to sleep in.
Yeah.
I want to just kind of chill instead of being like carted out first thing in the morning, like I just was at school and just having a bit of downtime at home. I think we realized that they needed that. Yeah. And then, because we had some camps where they almost like halfway through, they refused to go anymore.
Yeah.
It was just like a struggle. And then we're like, fine, okay, we can take that. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why did we do this to ourselves? Like we just felt like we needed them out and in activities, but completely didn't think about the fact that they also just need a break. And that is summer break.
Yes. And then if you don't make note of that when you're planning for next summer again, you'll probably forget that.
Yeah.
The other thing is something you and I talked about the other day is how you like to structure your vacations. If you're taking 1 week off or a couple 1 weeks.
That's another thing I've reflected on like early on with like kids and I didn't do it this year. And I'm nervous about it almost because I feel like I can't relax until halfway through a week. If you're going to go to a cottage or something like that or wherever, even traveling, like a week with kids, I find is not enough in terms of a vacation. Once I got to get like 10 days, 14 days, at that point, I'll actually be able to decompress. The first part of the vacation for me is like getting to the location, packing everything, unpacking everything, usually doing some sort of grocery shop. Like there's just logistical stuff to get settled into whatever place with kids. They may have trouble sleeping the first couple of nights. Like it's not relax mode. I still connected to work. Like it's hard for me to disconnect. I know a lot of people are like that. It's just hard to disconnect. My husband's the same way. For the first few days, you're still thinking about the things you left behind. And then so if it's just a week, honestly, that gives me like 2 days and then I'm pretty much almost packing up. So I find I need like a 2-week summer vacation to feel like I can also connect and watch, like be present with my kids.
Yep.
And like if this is the last summer, they'll be this age. And just not think about anything else and just, soak that all in. Because then once, September starts, it's just so busy with school beginning that I really want to have those moments and just make sure that we did all the stuff that we wanted to do. We talked about that, setting expectations for summer of like how you want your summer to be.
Yes.
So just kind of, combining those things in like your reflection of like, how did we do all the things we wanted to do? And if we didn't, like what happened? Was it just like maybe we didn't plan our vacation well? We had too many activities, camps with the kids that prevented us from doing some of the other things. Like there was just too much that we tried to cram in while still working most of the time. That was unrealistic.
Yep.
So again, taking that all in, like setting the expectations and like comparing it. Did we really feel like this was the summer that we wanted to? Again, every summer with kids, you're just like, this is the last time.
Yeah.
they'll be this age. And it goes by so fast. I know that's like a really like obviously cliche thing, but it really does. And it really starts to speed up. You know, my twins are 9 and I feel like we are at the point where they're going to be like tweens, very different. So I'm really taking that in right now where they just want to still be kids and do kiddie things. I hope still for a little bit before that's gone.
And it's our summer too. So we want to make sure that we can enjoy the summer as well. And we are getting what we wanted out of the summer.
Yeah, definitely. As parents, like see summer concerts, see friends and a patio, like all that stuff has to be pre-scheduled.
Yeah.
It usually requires childcare, something like that. So somebody has to come in and step in for that. So you can't just wing these things anymore. All of it requires planning.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something, again, to reflect on. Last year, my husband and I, we planned to go to a concert, which sounded like such a great idea. And the day that happened, I was coming back from a cottage. My son still had to go to a lacrosse game. I think I was coming back with the girls. He was out. My husband had already gone. I felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I was like, this is crazy. And then we're still going to a concert tonight. Like, I feel like we're just spinning our wheels here. The only thing that kept us going was just like, we don't have to do bedtime.
Yes.
So my mom had been arranged to go, but I just felt like I just needed to like do nothing. But, you know, we're like, okay, we'll just go. Worst case scenario, we'll just like sit outside if we can't even mentally and we don't have to do bedtime. We ended up going and had a great time. But it was like one of those ones where like, we didn't plan this really well. Like to have a concert and to be coming back from a cottage and to have a sports game was overkill for me.
Well, everything on paper seems very manageable until you have to live it out and you realize, wow, that was actually too much.
Yeah. And so it's really important though, like to actually take action on that.
Yes.
So it's not just like in the moment, be like, well, that was a bad idea. Look at your calendar for next year and be like, if we're going to a concert, that day is blocked. Like it's not a day that we have 10 other things. Like that's the one thing we're going to do. And it's going to be very chill. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Make sure we have that childcare. We're not going to stuff a bunch of other things at the same time for that. I mean, some people can do that. I personally can't.
No, neither can
I feel overstimulated. Like, no, it's just not fun for me that way. But so yeah, taking stock before the summer ends and actually taking action on it.
Yes.
Is what we're talking about today.
Yes, exactly. Ultimately, so that you can have a less stressful summer next year. Again, really making it the summer that you want.
Yeah.
One thing that really helps me, or this comes very naturally to me because for anyone who knows Kolbe and has done it themselves, I have a high follow through. So that means that I am a highly systemized individual. I love creating tables, charts, just organizing things to support my life. So I often am using my past experiences to make the present better and then using today to make next year or tomorrow even better. However, I know that this doesn't come naturally for everyone.
Yeah.
So having a tool like this can support you because it's already created, or using prompts like your calendar, reminders, and being mindful of your partner as well. So between the two of you, one person may have a higher follow through, or rather be a more systemized individual. So they may be better at doing this. If they are, let them. But I imagine that in many relationships, one person naturally takes on this role more than the other.
From my observation with most of my friends, I think one partner does seem to be kind of the owner of the calendars or those things. But this tool, do tell me.
Okay, so let's talk about this tool. And this is a tool that will be available to listeners to download. So imagine a table and you will have 9 rows, or rather 1 row for every week in the summer. So for my kids in their summer, they have 9 weeks in the summer. So I have 9 rows, 1 for every week of the summer. And then these are the columns that I have. So I have the week number. So week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on. I have the date. So, like July 1st to July 7th, let's just say. Actually, I have it right here so I can follow it. The third column is important dates to remember or just to note. So it could be someone's birthday. It could be Canada Day. It could be already scheduled vacations that we have that may have been already planned.
Yeah.
Sports.
Like my son still, like there's provincials for his lacrosse. It always happens beginning of August. So like we can never book a vacation then.
Okay, because you always know that it's there.
We're going to have to go to this provincials for lacrosse is happening then.
Yeah, so any key dates that I want to flag are going to go in this column. And then next, the fourth column is activity. So it could be camp, travel, home, anything like that, just to identify what the household is doing that week or where we generally are. And I might specify the actual camp. So if it's like sailing camp, baking camp, bike camp, that kind of thing. Or if we are away on like vacation, I'll put it in there. What worked well is a column.
Yes.
The next column, what didn't work well. And then the last column is notes for next year as reminders, any prompts that I need. At the top of my table, I write down my kids' ages. So right now they are 3, 5, and 7. That is the table that I'm working with for this year. So everything is in there. So I have a very clear idea. I will also have on the other side another table that is the same, but it's for next year. So it'll be summer planning 2026.
Love it.
The kids' ages for next year are up there so that if I'm doing any sort of camp scheduling and it requires specific ages, I don't have to do too much thinking. I can refer to the ages there, especially if you have multiple kids.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know and just like make sure that the ages align. And then I'm going to plug in anything as reminders or that I want into next year. Again, kind of as loose planning framework.
Yeah. Not too rigid.
But nothing too rigid. So the key point is, like I said, I love to be organized, but I always allow for flexibility and I like to write things in pencil because that allows me to make any changes where possible. It is very possible to be too organized to the point where you become inflexible and rigid, and that doesn't serve anyone. That becomes very unproductive. So again, this is just providing the framework so that when you are starting the planning again in January, you have an idea, oh, like this is what they did last year. And I really like this framework. So we generally do camp similar weeks. We generally go away similar weeks. I know that in the last week of the summer, we generally like to be around home or at least for the long weekend. And so these are things that I make note of so that I don't book something where I don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to have that. Everything gets so busy after September and it's before you know it, it's January and you have to like start on all of this stuff. So just having something quickly to reference back to, I think it would save just time and just making sure that it's optimal for everybody and just remembering what your kids wanted. Again, last year, I don't think we included friends enough.
Yes. Okay.
And this year we made more of a conscious effort of just like, they want to go to Canada's Wonderland with a friend. They want to be at camp with a friend. They want like the friends, which means I need to coordinate with parents well in advance. Like, all right, like, you know, this past few weeks, like what's your kids' schedule like? When can they go to Canada's Wonderland? When can they do this together? All of that, you know, before we're on vacation and I'm just kind of like off.
Yeah.
Needs to also be coordinated. And the sooner you do that, would have been easier if I even started weeks ago at school.
Yeah.
I would have like seeing these parents now. I'm just like scrambling to get this in because that starts to increase of like how much they just want to spend time with their friends to the point of like, then they don't want to spend time with you at all. But that starts to, creep in there. They're friends' social calendars and you have to be that. So for me, that would be a part of my reflection and notes of just like, they want time with their friends. They want them included in camps. Talk to parents earlier, like what camps are they doing? Okay. What are they doing? Because we had some parents that tried to include them with camps and the camps were full. And then like, that's just, you know, didn't need to be that way if had been planned earlier. So those would be my reflections right now.
Yes.
What I'm going through and like making note of that these are things that for sure next year, even more so as friends.
And another thing that you and I were just talking about, it was swimming lessons.
Yes.
And so you don't have your kids in swimming lessons.
No, and I
this
totally
summer.
regret that. I just missed that opportunity.
Yep.
It didn't come to mind because I'd signed them up for summer camps. I'm like, oh, they're going to be swimming a lot in pools and cottages and all that stuff. We'll take a break from like swimming lessons. But then I was talking to the place where they sign up and they're actually the swimming lessons for the summer. They're more condensed. They do them like all week long. So they can actually get through levels much faster. They're only 2 weeks and they'll pass levels just because it's more frequent. And they're only an hour, right? So they can do that alongside a summer camp and get through these 2 levels. And I'm just, why didn't I do this before? It just, again, it didn't dawn on me, but I'm definitely writing that as a note. And
Yes.
and that all has to be signed up in early June.
It does. There's just so much to remember. And I don't like having to remember anything. I want to keep my brain clear.
I can't.
No, I don't want, it's not a place for storage. So if I can use any sort of tools to track my notes or reminders, it allows my brain to be free.
Yeah.
And it's recorded somewhere because now I can refer back and think, or in your case, okay, this would be a great week to fit in the summer lessons. This is where we'll do it. There's a place for it. Done.
Totally.
So now you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, future, you will thank you.
Yes.
For taking these few minutes of reflection.
That is a gift that you can give to your future self.
Definitely. And your partner too, like everybody kind of involved in that. Because once you have this table filled out, it's also a partner can just be like, okay, yeah, I can run with this a little bit more or like get organized around this. So just information instead of keeping it locked in your head, having it recorded.
Yes. And especially because in our household, I am the one who is organizing the schedule. However, Alex will be the one booking any trips or vacations. And he often is just asking me as we're in the kitchen together, okay, what dates are we going to this place? And I'll tell him the dates. But this way we can reduce repetition of any sort of conversations.
Yeah, over the kitchen when you're like cleaning up after like a meal.
He's not going to remember.
No, you're not going to remember.
Yeah.
There's so many times we're just like going over the same things. It's like,
yes.
I have told you this 5 times.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You can't blame the person. Like
no,
they've
you
had
can't
so much
them.
information in their head. It's just not being retained. So having a centralized place for that, I think, when you're in the thick of it with children, it's really helpful.
It is. And then when he is ready to book the, vacation that we need, it's there. The dates are crystal clear.
It's like it can only really happen here.
Yes.
So plan.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
The camps really kind of, especially if you do sleepover camps with the kids, they anchor things of like when you really can't. If you want to be part of that camp, and they're going to a sleepover camp, you're not taking vacation then, and there's no flexibility there.
In a previous episode, we talked about going on a vacation with families.
Yes.
That is something that we do in the summertime. We book a cottage with another family. It's always a wonderful time. However, we have a place that we do like to go to, but 2 years in a row, it filled up and we missed the opportunity to book it.
Oh, yeah.
And so if we know every summer that we want to go away together and we like going to that place, and we generally know what week works for us, if we just plug that in for the future and we say, okay, do we like this date again? We have that there so that someone between the 2 families can take ownership and book.
I would do it right after. Like as somebody that rents my cottage.
Yes.
I really appreciate that when people are like, we are coming back next summer and we want these dates. Like right after their vacation.
Yes.
And I'm like, I will block them off. I'll circle back with you in January to make sure you're actually confirmed, but at least they're blocked. Like you don't have to like pay for it or anything yet, but I'm going to hold those for you if you were a good guest.
Yeah.
So definitely if you like, a lot of people do cottages in the summer and you've had a really great time.
Yeah.
You want to come back, don't wait.
Yeah. And you're like, actually, thank you for booking and being so organized and coming back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I want my summer set as soon as possible for cottage rental stuff. It's just peace of mind. And again, if there's good families, I want that locked in.
And I guess it also means that if you want time at that cottage,
then
you need to lock it in too.
Definitely. Oh yeah, we have to. Yeah. So again, everything really does need to be in advance. So if you feel like these are things that you've struggled with and your summer kind of is like not working out the way you wanted to, implementing some of these things, I think starting with a reflection of like, if this summer kind of was felt just not as optimal and you missed out on stuff and maybe you're just regretting some decisions around it, it's time to do this table.
It's even bigger than just doing the practice. It's really about making this a family culture and involving every family member in the process and asking your questions. Did you get the summer that you hoped to have?
Yes.
Was this as great as you were expecting? What didn't we do?
We talked about this week, actually, you and I. The expectations clarifier that we had for like days, I actually applied it to this summer.
Yes.
And it was just a casual conversation around the table of like, what does everybody want to do this summer? Like, what's important to you?
Yeah.
What are your expectations? And what would mean a good summer to you if you did all of these things? And we were just like, over meal, just kind of like let's go around in circles and see what everybody wants to do. And it was really helpful, like to know, like my son's like, I don't want too many sports. And I want to make sure I go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, okay, fishing, random. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. And then you'll feel like you had a great summer because that's what you said was important to you. And I didn't know that fishing was one of them.
No.
That you needed to have fishing in there. And then my husband, like he had too many things planned where I was like, this is unrealistic. Like, let's break this up through the year because you're going to be disappointed. Like, that's like the whole point of that expectations clarifier is just like, okay, let's discuss this because if you hadn't mentioned this, you would have been at the end of the summer being like, oh man, and we didn't do this and we didn't do this and we didn't do this. That was an unrealistic expectation. Let's take some of those and put them in for sure. So we know we're going to get that. And this one over here, he wanted to go to like hiking a French river. Let's put that in the fall.
Yeah.
And like, let's do that one and there. And then that was like, that was a great solution. But had we not talked about that, it would have just been like silently brooding over the fact that these things were never done.
Yes. It would have led to disappointment by him.
Yes.
And you would never have known because he didn't even communicate it in the first place.
No, he would have been like, oh, you did too many things in your calendar and didn't include any of mine, but he wouldn't have told me. Mm-hmm. So, but now I do know sort of what that was. So even that thing is really, really helpful tool. Like these tools
That's
are
a
really
great
helpful.
idea. Yeah. Capturing the voices of every single family member because I think that is something that we often don't do. I mean, I think I often will do it when my kids have a week off. And that is kind of the week meant for play dates or one-on-one time. Mm-hmm. That's when we do it. But it really should be done earlier and looking at the summer as a whole.
Yeah.
And then, especially if you're using the expectations clarifier, you have things written down. And then when you're reflecting on the summer, you can pull that out again.
Yes.
And cross-reference.
Definitely start there. Like the one for me was like, I want to sit and read a book in its entirety, like finish it this summer. So children, if you see me reading a book on the dock or wherever, like this is important to me. So
respect that.
Yes, respect it. Yeah. Get yourself a snack or whatever. Like this is not time to interrupt me because this is high on my list.
Yep. And you know
high on my list. So I'm doing something else like putzing around, gardening or whatever, like I can be interrupted. But if you see me reading a book, this to me, for me means I am relaxing.
Oh, I love that.
And like now they know because they wouldn't have known.
And Adam as well, because he can help to support that.
Exactly.
While you're reading and he can manage the kids
he's
during
like,
that time.
I know this is really, she really wanted to get this done. It's something small for me, but I really, really like it.
I love that.
That makes me feel like I'm in vacation mode when I'm reading a book for pleasure. And everybody seems to just like not notice that. But I've also never told them. So I've never made it that is actually high. It seems trivial to you, but to me, it's actually really important that I get a little bit of that. And then I feel like I've had a great vacation too. So everybody kind of went through that, what everybody wanted. Now we know. And then again, making sure that, your weekly reflections, are we making those things? Mm-hmm. Very similar to actually the other episode that we had with Jay and Gary, how they talked about their 10 questions of like, where are
Jay
we on
and
this?
Ralph.
Sorry, Jay and Ralph.
Okay.
Very similar kind of idea of just making sure you're checking in. And like these reflections kind of all kind of pull that together. Like, are we making the expectations that we wanted for this summer? Are they happening? And like, what could we have changed? Maybe again, too many sports activities for my son and he wanted to do other things. Like we didn't hear his summer expectations when we were planning in January, right?
Right.
So I think he may be disappointed with how much sports he has. But I now know, like, this is the reflection. If he feels like he had too many, I now know to kind of, for next year, be like, this guy just wants some downtime.
Yep.
Wants to do some science, wants to do a couple of other things because he does so many sports during the year. He wants to balance it out.
It also is just an opportunity for conversation. Because if, let's say in our case, with my family, we are constantly going to the same resort. And I think, oh, that was great. Like, we're going to book it again. And we just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I gave no one the opportunity to say, I'm sick and tired of doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to do that. Let's make some change. Let's sit down and have a conversation and go back to really talk about it. So it's just really having that space to be able to share.
Yes, again, because it happens, so much of the planning happens in January, and you're just like, I just need to get this done because these camps are going to book up. So you're just like, well, you're not really like incorporating that. So Yeah, I think having that reflection at the end of like, did we maybe next year we want to try a new location, like noting that.
One of the things that I said was going to be my focus for this summer is having fun. And so that is the opportunity when I would reflect on, did we have fun?
Yeah.
And if we didn't, why not?
Yes.
And what can we do to make next summer more fun?
And even like fun, what does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
It means like I'm playing games with the kids, or you and Alex are going to a concert, or like, what is it?
Yes. Break that down is what you're telling me.
Fun can be really, in the eye of the beholder. Like what is your definition of it?
Because certainly my vision of fun is probably very different than Alex's.
I think you guys both like your like athletic stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Something playful in that.
But
way.
I want to be having fun with my kids.
Yeah.
And I want them to see that because my youngest, who's 3, he is at the stage where he can very much see if I'm frustrated. And almost every day he asks, when will you be happy?
Oh, no.
And that is a great sign that I need to check myself and I need to change the vibe that I'm giving off.
Yeah.
And so I suppose like one way for me to monitor that is the frequency of that question.
Definitely. That means sounds like there needs to be more fun.
Yeah.
More fun in Laura's life. Definitely. We should mention all of these tools you can get on our website.
Yes, you can get them on the website. You can download them.
We have a resources page. All of the expectations clarifier we talked about, that's a tool you can download. So planning your, like, what do you expect for this summer, for the school year, going forward, it's all there. This tool is there. Any other of the questions that we sort of talked about are all there. So we got a lot of really good resources to kind of, dig in and see what your expectations are, what you want, and get intentional about how you spend your time with your family.
And it's really about taking a proactive approach on life and spending time with your family and in your household rather than taking a reactive approach.
Well, that definitely, I think, is the philosophy behind being intentional. Just like everything that you're putting in, your efforts, your energy, you're thoughtful about it. You're not just going through the motions, seeing like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be doing this because other people are doing it. It's like you come together with your family. You've set those goals, your personal goals, the goals with your partner of like how we want to have fun or whatever it is. And what does that look like? And then you put thought behind it. So that's I think the biggest takeaway to have that intentional household.
So for families to get started, they can download this resource, set aside about 30 minutes with your family.
I don't even know if it'll be that much.
I don't think so.
I think it's like a quick exercise to kind of get through it. So I think in 30 minutes, the whole thing will be done. Max.
Yes, exactly. And ask every family member what their high was from the summer, what they loved, and what a low was.
Yes.
Right?
Sometimes those aren't even talked about.
Yeah, something that they didn't love so that you can improve it for next summer.
And just circle back to it. And it can be a document that you keep if you like physical papers.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I would actually put this in a calendar and attach the document.
Oh,
so I would like a digital copy.
Okay.
And then sometime in January, create a reminder in my Google Calendar that has this already attached. So it's going to come up to me and be like notification, like plan out summer in January, where I'm like Christmas mode, burnt out. I'm like, oh yeah. But the notes are already there.
Yeah.
So even that is like a step of like, I don't need to like even find where I saved it or anything like that. It's just going to be together. That's how I like to operate. That's a little tip. But also it could just be, a document that you keep in a file folder of stuff, whatever it is. Whatever is the easiest way to prompt you to like then read it again before planning your summer for next year.
Yeah, I will probably put it in my big ass calendar.
Yes.
The physical one, I will make a note in it.
You should let people know why you call it that.
Oh, it's Jesse. It's Jesse.
Just calling it a big ass calendar.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time saying his name. Jesse Itzler's big ass calendar that he has created and branded.
Yes, it's a branded thing. It's not just like Laura.
No, it's not. And
so
so we have a big calendar that goes on the wall, and there's a day for every day in the year. But I also have his planner, and it's quite large. You have seen it.
Yes.
And when you open it up, there is one day for every month, but it's quite large. So I can write a good amount of stuff for each day. So I will put that in the big ass calendar. I can make a note, like refer to the piece of paper or the resource.
Whatever like prompts you.
Yes.
To like, gotta get this out, gotta take a look before going ahead and like planning those summer camps and all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We hope that we've inspired you to take some time to reflect on the past summer, use your experience to make next year even better so that you and your family can live with more intention. Don't forget to download the resource, follow us on Instagram, and let us know if you like it. Thank you for listening.